Hello, my name is
Hello.
Marki Kivijärvi, and I'm happy to be here with Manish Agarwal from Voxen University, India. And Manish has written a very interesting teaching case entitled The Cost of Conflict Minerals, Apple, DRC, and the Global Accountability of Supply Chains. And I'm very glad that Manish is here to give us an overview of the case and to talk a little bit about the experience of writing the teaching case. And this case is one of the finalists of the 2025 Dark Side Case Competition by the Critical Management Studies Division of the Academy of Management. Congratulations, Manish, and welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm feeling blessed, and thanks to the God, thanks to my parents and my teachers who teach me how to write case studies, and I'm here. And thanks to AOM, especially the division who's organized this one. I think CMC division. Thanks to so much for putting my case in the finalist.
Wonderful. Wonderful to have you here. And I was wondering that can you start by telling us an overview of the case? What is it about and what themes does it bring to discussion?
Yeah, this is my teaching case. And before that, I have written a good number of cases. This case is particularly based on the conflict minerals used by the apple. And these minerals produced by from the Republic of Congo. So the case title is The Cost of Conflict Minerals, Africa, DRC, and the Global Accountability of Supply Chain. This case examined the complex ethical and legal and operational challenges that arise when the global technology firms like Apple source mineral from conflict affected zone. The case is around the Apple, and we know that Apple is the largest technology firm. The company faced renewed allegation once again in December 2024 when the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, accused the company of using conflict minerals such as tin, tungsten, gold, etc., which sourced from the area mines controlled by the armed group in eastern Congo. These minerals essentially are very much important for the manufacturing, not only smartphone, but also the computers also. But by by good, what do you say, bad luck of the apple, that these minerals are sourced from the conflict areas, and where not only the funding is in questions, but also the environmental destruction is also happening over there, and several human rights abused are also happening, including forced child labor. The object of this my case study is to help the student to understand the concept of conflict minerals and the role of multinational corporation in mitigating such issues. Another issues which I try to dealt with this case study is a concept of corporate social responsibility initiatives and the supply chain due diligence in high risk countries, especially African countries like Congo. There are some other objectives are there, and I would like to give some light on how I got the idea and how I decided to write on the case study. And we all know that there is an ongoing tension between the public commitments made by the tech industries and the persistent reality on the ground in place of countries like DRC. Despite the Apple's well-published efforts since 2010, we know that the Apple has a very stringent rules for supply chain management. There is a mandatory third-party audit. There is a required compliance with OECD due diligence guidelines and extra blah, blah, blah. But still, this new allegation came up, and which suggests that there is a robust system of Apple. There is a robust system of the Apple, but still this robot system is not able to capture the ineffectiveness, and this robot system is still very ineffective and not able to capture the minerals sourced from the complex source in the global complex chain and coming from the conflict area like Congo.
Okay, thank you so much,
And
Manish, for this.
the
Uh,
data, this is my primary case actually. Can I
mhm.
continue?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I got the idea. I got the data, most of the data from the public reports, Apple's own conflict minerals disclosures, NGO investigation, legal filing in Europe, and the media coverage of the both companies' initiative and the DRC's legal actions. So this is how I collected the data. And in terms of the learning experience, students are challenged to debate what more Apple and the companies like it can do to ensure the products and truly conflict free. They must consider the limit of corporate powers, the need for the system changes, and the potential unintended consequences of corporate disagreements from the high risk regions like Congo. Ultimately, the case encourages students to grasp with the global accountability of the supply chain and the real cost that drives that the device we used on day-to-day our life, that is nothing but Apple iPhone.
Okay. Thank you, Manish, for providing this very interesting overview of the case and what you have done. And I must say that having read the teaching case, it is so important work. And I think that what is very important is that you will not only talk about the business aspects, I mean, in terms of why it is important for organizations like Apple to consider the social sustainability aspects of their supply chains in terms of business reputation and making profits. But you also critically raise the issues of human rights, the adverse impacts that their supply chains might have on the environment and the workers' lives. So you sort of introduce the very complexity around this issue, and you allow the students to then start critically examining and reflecting on these processes that I suppose that oftentimes we are blinded to them, and we are just as consumers, we might not always know what goes into the production systems, but your teaching case is a very good example of work that is done within the CMS community, and how we try to make visible these complex processes of exploitation that intertwine with capitalism. So I congratulate you on having completed this very important work. And of course, at CMS, we believe that it's important to get business students to ask these questions, and it's evident that in the teaching notes, you encourage the students to evaluate the responsible supply chain activities undertaken by organizations such as Apple, and to consider what more they need to do, and also to start considering, well, how this could be done, because I believe that what your case shows is that it is not dependent on only the organizations, but it is very much something that needs collective responsibility from different governmental actors, and careful collaboration in terms of starting to improve the supply chain management. And I would, of course, be very curious to learn a little bit about your path in CMS. Can you share something about your personal history with doing research on sort of CMS related topics. And what is your view on the role of CMS theories, both in terms of research and in terms of teaching?
So I started writing case study in 2010. And I believe some 2012, 13 onwards, I'm hearing that my bosses, my senior case writers are participating in dark side competitions and actually winning also. My boss, late Dev Pratham Purkayastha, also won some awards here in dark side competition. Others, well, my colleagues also won the competition here. But I never participated. But I always admire the real and the meaningful work done by this CMS division, especially to bring forward the hidden and often uncomfortable issues of management, which are usually overlooked by the media and others, academicians. However, despite my interest, I never actually participated in the dark side competition earlier, but things changed in 2000 in last year. In November 2024, I changed my organization, I changed the university, and I joined the Boxer University, Hyderabad in India. And the supportive environment here gave me both time and encouragement to develop the quality case and submit to the Academy of Management. So this is a transition, what I felt transition, and this transition is very important to me. Why? Because it's allowed me to move from just being a observer to actively contributing to the CMS community. I'm grateful to the opportunity to be the part of such vibrant and impactful socially community. In short, I would like to say that CMS has provided both a scholarly home and source of inspiration for challenging the status quo and advocating for more just more than just mentioning the things. It's more responsible forum of management. And this case study, this Apple case study, is a direct reflection of those commitments.
What a memorable journey you have into providing your own contribution to this dark side case competition, and we are of course very happy that you decided to submit your work. And I think that your story is very reflective of the importance of collegial support and community support that we gain for our academic work. And I think it's it's very nice to hear that you have been supported in terms of developing a teaching case, because oftentimes maybe we might have this sentiment that we focus a lot of our effort into publishing publishing empirical work in journals, and then it is perhaps sometimes forgotten that it is also important to contribute through our teaching. And of course, developing teaching cases is one excellent way to bring back to the communities, and then also to help raise and support the growth of responsible new generations of business scholars. So in that sense, it is very wonderful to hear that you have received these kinds of support mechanisms, that you have had the time to develop the case. And yeah, and it seems that it has been sort of also personally rewarding, I'm guessing, to work on the process. And maybe lastly, I would like to invite you to share something, maybe fun, something memorable that you have about the experience of working on this case.
So fun in academics activity, yeah, fun is there when it's got published work, when it's recognized in the place like AOM. Obviously, it's a lot of joy, happiness comes. The memorable aspect of working, especially on this Apple case, I was like very excited when I saw the completely diversity in the perspective I encountered. From passionate activists, environment activists staging protests outside the Apple stores, from supply chain managers struggling with the reality of global sourcing, and the student who gone through this case study. They're like actually they're shocked. They saw shocked to learn about their hidden cost of the device which they are using on day-to-day basis. One of the student I still remember, she said, I never thought my iPhone could have a connection to the armed conflict in Africa. And still I remember that state. So, and that moment I realized the power of case-based teaching to bridge the gap between abstract global issues and the personal responsibility. Maybe the next time when they're planning to purchase some product, they will see how these products are sourced actually, how these products are manufactured, the products parts from where, which part of the world they sourced actually. So that is a things different aspects I got. Yeah, and that is, and I got some meme across the while searching on social media, which are protecting the Apple. So those memes, I felt that those memes are really funny, but still hitting and targeting Apple and the companies like this. They are hitting and targeting it. So I felt that even though there is a challenge situation and the serious topics like this, but there is always the room of creativity and hope for the better word, hope of the better actually. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Manish. And I think that the example that you shared from the classroom experience
Mhm.
and when you sort of see the immediate reactions to something that you share with the students, I think that it is exactly one part, very important part of the impact that we are trying to make through the critical pedagogy. And sometimes because for example, the case that you are describing here, we are dealing with very complex, very wicked problems that are difficult to resolve. And sometimes we might sort of just feel helpless where to start and what actions are enough and who could do them. And sometimes one good beginning for a
Mhm.
change is to start sort of making changes, small changes, making people stop and think about and see things differently. So this is exactly what these dark side case studies are all about, and they are inviting alternative ways of seeing. So thank you for contributing to that. And also thank you so much for being here to talk about the case with me. And once more, congratulations on being selected among the case finalists.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.